Ever get that feeling like you're talking, but nobody's really listening?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're giving directions, but they just keep getting lost.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that's kind of what happens with like generic praise.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Good job, or you're so smart.
Yeah.
That we just like throw around all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So today we're going to go deep on how to make praise actually work,
Okay.
especially when it comes to kids.
Sounds good.
We're diving into a guide for parents created by a behavioral therapist that tackles this very issue. The guide calls it labeled praise.
Okay.
And I have to admit, I'm already a little skeptical.
Oh, really?
I mean, is it really that big of a deal to be super specific with our compliments?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
Children are constantly trying to figure out the world, right? They're like little scientists, testing out actions and seeing what reactions they get.
I like.
So clear feedback
Yeah.
really helps them understand cause and effect, which is essential for learning and development.
So you're saying that like a vague good job doesn't really give them the information they need to connect their actions to the positive outcome.
Exactly.
Huh.
It's like giving someone a map with no landmarks.
Right.
They know they're supposed to go somewhere,
Yeah.
but they have no idea how to get there.
Okay.
Labeled praise, on the other hand, provides that specific direction.
Okay.
It tells them precisely what they did. That was so great.
So instead of just saying, good job cleaning your room,
Right.
we say something like, I'm really impressed with how you organized all your toys.
Exactly.
Your bookshelf looks amazing.
That's a perfect example.
Okay.
You're highlighting the specific action, organizing the toys,
Yeah.
and connecting it to a tangible outcome. The bookshelf looks amazing.
Right.
This gives the child a clear understanding of what they did well and
Sure.
why it matters.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But is there ever a time when a simple good job is okay? Or are we supposed to like dissect every single positive action?
It's not about being like robotic
Right.
or overanalyzing every little thing.
Okay.
Sometimes a spontaneous good job is perfectly fine,
Yeah.
especially for younger children who are just starting to grasp language.
Right.
It's more about building the habit
Okay.
of adding that label
Got it.
whenever possible.
So like upgrading your praise
Yeah.
from economy class to first class.
Exactly.
Haha, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So it's like, good job. I love how quickly you finished your dinner.
Uh-huh.
Or, good job. You were so patient waiting for your turn.
Precisely.
Okay.
You're still conveying your approval, but you're also giving them valuable information about what they did right.
Yeah.
And this kind of specific feedback goes beyond just shaping behavior.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, research shows that labeled praise can actually impact brain development.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When kids receive specific positive feedback,
Yeah.
it activates the reward centers in their brains.
Oh, wow.
Which reinforces those positive neural pathways.
So it's not just about making them feel good in the moment.
Right.
It's actually wiring their brains for success.
Exactly.
Wow, I had no idea there was a neurological component to this.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
That is fascinating.
And this wiring goes beyond just external rewards.
Okay.
Labeled praise can also help kids develop intrinsic motivation.
Intrinsic motivation.
Yes.
So they're not just doing things to please others
Right.
or get a reward.
Exactly.
They're actually starting to find joy and satisfaction in the activity itself.
You got it.
That's huge.
It is a huge win
Yeah.
because intrinsic motivation is a key driver
Right.
of long-term success and happiness.
Okay. I'm fully on board with the labeled praise train now.
Great.
But let's get practical for a second.
Okay.
How do we actually make this a habit?
Yeah.
Especially when we're, busy parents juggling a million things.
That's a great question. And I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Because the guide actually offers some really helpful strategies for incorporating labeled praise into your daily routine.
Uh-huh.
One of the things it talks about is the praise jar idea.
The praise jar.
Yeah.
Where you write down like specific things your child did well.
Exactly.
That sounds like a great way to stay mindful.
It is.
And turn praise into a more intentional practice.
Right.
Yeah, so the praise jar.
Yeah.
The guide suggests writing down one instance of labeled praise each day, dropping in the jar,
Right.
and then at the end of the week or even the month,
Yeah.
you can sit down with your child and like read through all of them together.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's like creating a treasure chest of positive memories
It is.
and gives you a chance to like really savor those moments,
Right.
reinforce those positive feelings.
And it's not just about the warm fuzzies, though.
Oh.
Going back and revisiting those specific examples can also spark really interesting conversations. You can ask your child, do you remember when you, and talk about what they were thinking,
Right.
feeling,
Right.
how they accomplished that particular task.
So it's like a springboard for deeper connection
Yeah,
and self-reflection,
exactly.
both for the child and the parent.
Uh-huh.
I can see how this would be powerful,
Yeah.
but I'm also wondering,
Yeah.
wouldn't this get a bit repetitive
Okay.
if you're constantly focusing on the same positive behaviors?
That's where the label part becomes really crucial.
Okay.
Even if you're praising the same general action like cleaning up,
Uh-huh.
you can vary your language,
Okay.
highlight different aspects of the behavior.
So one day it might be, you did a fantastic job putting all your toys away in the bins.
Right.
And another day it could be, I really appreciate how you took the initiative to wipe down the table after snack time.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're acknowledging their effort,
Yeah.
but you're also expanding their vocabulary,
Right.
helping them understand the nuances of positive behavior.
This is making me think about all the ways we could adapt this praise jar concept.
Yeah.
What if we had a family gratitude journal
Okay.
where everyone writes down something they appreciate about each other?
Uh-huh.
Or we could use labeled praise in a classroom setting
Sure.
to encourage positive interactions among students.
Those are great ideas.
Right.
The possibilities are endless. You could even apply this concept to your own self-talk.
Ooh.
Instead of dwelling on your shortcomings,
Yeah.
try keeping a success jar
Okay.
where you write down your accomplishments, no matter how small.
Now that's a thought-provoking idea.
It is.
We're always so quick to criticize ourselves,
Yeah.
but rarely do we take the time to acknowledge our own wins.
It's like we've been conditioned to believe that self-praise is arrogant or boastful,
Right.
but it's not about ego stroking. It's
Uh-huh.
about recognizing our efforts and celebrating our progress.
And I bet that shift in perspective can have a huge impact on our self-esteem and motivation.
Right?
If we're constantly berating ourselves,
Yeah.
it's no wonder we feel discouraged.
Right.
But if we start focusing on what we're doing well,
Mm-hmm.
even in small ways,
Yeah.
it can create a positive feedback loop that propels us forward.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of labeled praise.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's directed towards ourselves or others,
Right.
it's about shifting our focus from negativity to positivity,
Yes.
from criticism to encouragement.
And that shift can be contagious.
Oh, yeah.
If we start modeling this kind of mindful appreciation,
Mm-hmm.
it can create a ripple effect
Right.
that spreads to our families, our workplaces, and our communities.
It's like planting a seed of positivity
Yeah,
that can grow into something truly remarkable.
absolutely.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired to start my own success jar right now.
I love it.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
Me too.
We started by talking about how to make praise more effective for kids,
Right.
and now we're realizing that it's something we all need,
Yeah.
regardless of our age.
Exactly.
in life.
It's a reminder that we all crave specific, genuine appreciation,
Mm-hmm.
and that taking the time to acknowledge those positive moments can make a world of difference.
So the key takeaway here
Yeah.
is that labeled praise is a gift.
It is.
It's a gift we can give to our children,
Right.
our partners, our colleagues,
Yeah.
and even to ourselves.
And it's a gift that keeps on giving.
That's true.
The more we practice labeled praise,
Yeah.
the more we cultivate a mindset of appreciation and gratitude,
Right.
which can transform our relationships
Uh-huh.
and our overall well-being.
You know, it's funny.
That's that.
We often talk about the power of positive reinforcement
Yeah.
when it comes to training animals.
Right.
But we rarely apply that same level of intentionality
I know.
to our interactions with humans.
It's true.
We tend to assume that people just know what we appreciate about them.
Right.
But just like animals thrive on clear feedback.
Yeah.
So do we. Think about it. You wouldn't just say, good job, to a dog after it learns a new trick.
Right.
You tell it exactly what it did well.
Yeah. Right. Of course.
Like, good boy for sitting so patiently.
Uh-huh.
Or good girl for fetching the ball.
Exactly.
We're so specific with our feedback when we're training animals.
Right.
But then we get all vague and general when it comes to praising humans.
It's so true.
I'm so guilty of this.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say things like, thanks for being so helpful.
Uh-huh.
But I rarely take the time to explain
Yeah.
what they did that was so helpful.
That's where the magic of labeled praise comes in.
Okay.
It's about going beyond those generic compliments
Yeah.
and really pinpointing the specific actions or qualities that we appreciate.
So instead of just saying, you're a great friend,
Right.
we could say, I really appreciate how you always listen without judgment and make me feel supported.
That's a perfect example.
All right.
You're not just expressing your appreciation, you're also giving them valuable insight into what makes them such a great friend.
And that kind of feedback is so much more meaningful and impactful.
It is.
It's like you're handing them a little treasure chest
Yeah,
filled with specific reasons why they're awesome.
I love that.
And who wouldn't want to receive that kind of gift?
Exactly.
It's a reminder that words have power.
Yeah.
And when we use them intentionally,
Mm-hmm.
we can create a ripple effect of positivity
Yes.
that spreads far and wide.
So let's all make a commitment
Yeah.
to upgrade our praise from economy class to first class.
Yes.
Let's ditch the vague and generic compliments
Right.
and embrace the power of labeled praise
Okay.
to create a more appreciative and fulfilling world for ourselves and everyone around us.
I love it.
On that note, it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive into the world of labeled praise.
We hope you've enjoyed this exploration
Yeah.
and that you're feeling inspired to put this knowledge into action.
Remember, it's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about progress.
Yeah.
Just start by adding a little more specificity to your compliments and see what happens.
We're betting you'll be amazed by the results.
We are.
Until next time, keep those brains engaged and those compliments flowing.
See.